What's up, guys? Back with me is here with the Fosters, Season 1, Episode 17, Kids in the Hall. Okay, so this episode starts off with Lena driving all the kids to school, and Callie's like, hey, can you invite Kiara and Daphne over to, can you go to Kiara and Daphne's? But Lena's like, we kind of don't think that you going over to a person's Daphne's apartment unsupervised is a great idea. Why don't you just bring them here? And she's like, okay. So Mariana runs into Zach, and she's like, hey, it's just like, hey, like he's still mad at her for like bailing him for Chase in the last episode. So so Jesus and Emma are hanging, or Jesus and Emma are just, like, Emma's trying to tempt him with a scone, and Mariana's seeing this, and she's like, Jesus, you have a girlfriend, and he's like, okay, Captain Obvious, Emma's just a friend, and Mariana's like, that better be all she is, and so Karina Sanchez, the Principal Sanchez, comes to Lena, and she's like, hey Lena, Callie isn't in more school activities, and with Jesus and Maria both being suspended at school. Brandon is, and Maria's like, Lena's like, is Brandon the only one that's not an originator? What are you trying to say? She's like, the more roots Callie puts down, the more higher up, the more impossible they're gonna be to grow up, to put back into place. And she's like, and then a fire drill happens. So Steph comes, and Steph for some reason decides to show up in her police uniform because she thought that would be the best way to come to Brandon and Callie and Mario and his school, and Jude too. But yeah, she decided to go there in her police uniform, and she meets Vico for the first time, and Brandon did give Vico the keys to the school. So Kiara and Daphne come over, and Kylie's like, hey, do you want to get some sandwiches? She can make some, and it basically transitions to the kitchen. So we don't get to see them walk in, it just transitions. So Callie's like, Daphne's like, she gets her first visitation with Tasha, and Kiara reveals that the picture that Callie took over her photography class has given Kiara her first Kiara a foster family. And so then Seth comes, and they're like, hey, do you want anything else? And they're like, we'll just leave. So I think seeing Cop kind of freaks them out. Steph, you show up in your uniform well, anyway, why was Steph at the school? You might be asking yourself. Is because Brandon mentioned, actually not because of Brandon, but Brandon does mention her about Mike having a girlfriend, and Steph asking all these questions, and why is Steph at school for Lena? And Lena and her are looking for a sperm donor because for Lena's baby, and Lena's like, and Steph's like, why don't we find a white sperm donor? And she's like, because Lena doesn't want a white baby. She wants a baby that looks exactly like her. So if they get a white sperm donor, the baby will be white. It won't look like Lena. So Lena asks Timothy over for dinner. So Maya confronts Chase about. So yeah, so she's walking to Brandon and Callie for some reason are like. Callie walks up to Brandon and Brandon's like, "Hey pal, hey friend," and it's just so awkward. It's just like you two. Can't you two just and Callie and Brandon's like, "Hey, can't we just hang out?" And Callie's like, "I think that would be advanced level friendship." So and Callie's like, and Brandon's like, "Hey, just baby steps for now. Like, dude, can't you just go back to being friends before you two date each other? Is it this awkward for you two to pretend like you know? Is it this too awkward to go back to how your relationship was before you start a relationship? Is it this awkward?" So yeah. So anyway, Brandon goes and yeah. So Brandon goes and yeah. So Mar confronts Zach and Zach's like, and Mariana tells Callie about how Kelsey took all of their friends in in her and Kelsey's breaking up in friendship, and yeah, and Callie explains that Mariana that, that Mariana is that Mariana put her underwear in Chase's pocket, and she's like, and Callie's like, "You did what?" So yeah, so and Callie's like, and for some reason Zach's acting all weird, and she's like, because you're two on a date. And she's like, "No, you were with us at the cast party." And he's like, he wasn't pretty happy about that, Mariana. So yeah, so and she's like, "Oh, and that's why." So that's why, and he totally saw me and Chase together at the cast party. So she goes to confront him and says, "Hey, are they together?" And he's like, "No, but we don't have to be friends either, Mariana. The play's over. The play's over. We don't have to be friends. Just leave it." So yeah. So so yeah. So so yeah. So Brandon and Vico are at a bar. Yeah, Brandon and Vico are at a bar, and they use their fake IDs to get in. And Brandon's talking about Callie, and and Brandon orders a shelf drink, and it's $12. So yeah, so Brandon and Vico are just hanging. When Brandon spots no other person but Danny at the same bar, and he's like, "We gotta get out of here, bro." And Danny's looking over. So yeah, so yeah, so Mariana confronts Chase about 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 the panties situation. He's like, "What are you talking about?" And she's like, "I know you're lying." How do I know you're lying? Because you're a terrible actor. Roast! Mariana roasted him. So yeah, but so he decides by shoving a bunch of underwear or panties in Mariana's locker, and Leah sees this. So then the next scene shows us with Mariana's eyes closed. About why are Mariana's eyes closed? Because she doesn't want that out of the situation, and she's like, why don't you get an idea about putting your panties in someone else's pants? And she's like, it was Talia. She used it on some guy on. Never mind. And she's like, great, you're not finishing that thing. So yeah, so yeah, so so yeah, so yeah, so so yeah. So anyway, after that scene, Brandon talks. Mike's like, "Hey, it looks like the dinner with Danny has been moved to Mom's house because someone talked to her about about Mike having a girlfriend." So yeah, so he got talked about Danny and how long has Danny been sober for, and he's like 5 years, and so yeah, so he talks to so after that whole Danny conversation, he talks to Mike about Mike talks about how about Marshall and how he called him back. He's like, he called him and he didn't answer. And once he calls him back, he's gonna talk about getting Brandon's lessons back. And Brandon's like, he probably fills his seat. And he's like, if I can control him once, I can control him again. And Brandon's like, just forget about it. Just leave it alone. And yeah, so Brandon is so Brandon, so definitely talk and they're like, oh, you invite Timothy, and she's like, okay. So yeah, so Timothy comes and they all come and Lena's trying and Steph is trying to like ask Danny all these questions about Danny, about herself and Mike, but Lena is always coming in with her questions about Timothy because Lena Steph pulls Lena's line and she's like, hey, I'm trying to answer if this woman is good for our son, and you're just trying to answer facts from questions about Timothy.com. And she's like, why don't we not go with honest sperm donor? Why don't we ask Timothy to do it? And she's like, you can't ask me you can't ask me first. And Steph's also like, hey, she just doesn't want to feel weird about Lena going to work every day with the father of their child. And Lena's like you and Mike. And she's like, that's so different. And so yeah, so Brandon and Danny talk about how they Brandon's like, hey, it's about your dad. You feel like if she falls off the wagon, he'll fall off the wagon. And she's like, she slipped up. She'll never drink again. She'll never go to that bar again. And yeah. So let's talk about the Callie stuff. So at the photo shoot, Callie talked to Stephalina about since she got Kiara foster home with the foster family, maybe she can get other kids by taking pictures of them with the computer lab stuff. So she's doing it. Cole introduced his girlfriend or something, and yeah, and then Daphne goes to his bathroom, and before Daphne gets there, she sees something. So after they talk, and Steph, Lena, Katrina, Principal Sanchez, Principal Sanchez, Lena and talk to Callie, and they're like, did you just give my keys to anyone? She's like, no. And she goes to talk to Daphne, and she's like, you made me get all the way here. You made me take a bus so you could just accuse me. Maybe you should talk to your boy Brandon. And she's like, what? She was like, no, he's at my house having dinner. And she's like, well, something's missing. I saw him walking around the hall. And he's like, why didn't you tell me? And he's like, he's your temptation. And he's like, we're supposed to be tight, you know. And she leaves. So she confronts Brandon, and he's like, were you at the night of my photo shoot? He's like, no, he was at the house. And she's like, it's dumb. Daphne said she saw you. So he goes to confront Vigo about it, and Vigo, and he's like, whatever you took, put it back. So yeah. So now it's time for the Jesus stuff. Okay, so Jesus and Emma are weighed in the same class. So they go to fight, but Jesus lets Emma win. Emma wins, and Emma is mad about it because he's like, what's going on? It's like, how I won? You saw him. He saw her as a girl, and he's like, it got weird, and he's like, it wasn't, and he's like, she's busted her butt to be better than anyone on that team. And then they kiss, and Jesus doesn't pull away from this. They kiss, and she's like, he makes her mad. So, and she leaves. So then after, he apologizes and he's like rule one, where rule one where you have busted your butt to get anywhere on this team, and rule two, kisses her again. And this time and she's like, what about Lexi? And he's like, she's on Honduras. I don't know when she's gonna. I don't know when I'm gonna see her again. And Emma's like, I don't do cheating. And he's like, there's only one thing I have to do now: break up with Lexi. So yeah. So anyway, at the end of the episode, Callie and Jude are just scrolling through some funny pictures of them when they see a car. Callie brings it and zooms in, and it's Brandon's car, meaning he was there that night. Ending the episode. Okay, so I thought this episode was really good. So his Gemma is now a thing because he kissed her. Okay, I guess Gemma is now a thing. I don't know. Because Gemma's now a thing, and now he's just like, yeah, I gotta break up with Lexi, but he doesn't know when she's coming back. So anyway, yeah. So anyway, like, comment, subscribe. Hope you have a wonderful evening now. See you next, The Fosters. We only got 3 more episodes to go. We only got 3 more episodes to go now. We got episode 18, 19, 20, and 21. Actually, we got 4 more episodes to go. 4 more episodes. Next episode will be 3. But we only got after next one after next one we'll only have 3 more episodes to go before we start season 2, which I will be starting season 2 after I end season 1. So I'll see you guys for episode 18.